Ladies and gentlemen, today's video is about going ghost to stack paper, rebuild, rebrand, get rich, become successful. Sounds a little bit generic, but give me 30 seconds of your time and I'll explain why this video could change your life. Chances are, if you've watched a superhero movie or you've lived life and you have eyes and ears, you've seen a person or a character at some point in your life who has had to go ghost, lock in, and really dial into what they're doing to turn things around. Now, if you follow this formula that I'm going to set up for you guys, you can turn around whatever situation you're in, you can change your life. But this comes with a warning. It comes with two warnings. Number one, be careful what you wish for, because when you go ghost, 3 months of focus can put you 3 years ahead. I'm going to say that one more time. 1, 2, 3 months of pure focus, being dialed in, going ghost, can put you 1, 2, 3 years ahead of everyone else. So I want you to be prepared for that. But number two, there are two different types of ways to go ghost, to stack paper, to dial in, to level up. And the second way is the way that you don't want to go because you will flame out and it will not work. I want you to copy this exact strategy that I'm going to give you guys so that you can come back from your lock-in, dialed-in ghost mode like a phoenix rising from the ashes, like an absolute rock star, and succeed at whatever you're doing. But then I'm going to give you the flip side. I'm going to show you what not to do, because I've seen people do this the wrong way and it really does backfire. So let's quickly talk about the wrong way to do it. When some people talk about going ghost, and I've seen these like fake influencer gurus, with me, what you guys see is what you get. Like, for real, this, how I'm talking to you guys now, this is how I talk to people in real life. So I don't know how to be fake. I'd be a really bad actor. I have cognitive memory issues. I wouldn't even be able to remember a line anyway. So everything you get out of my mouth is real. I'm very bad at being fake. But there are a lot of fake people on the internet. And this is just the reality of the world. No disrespect, but the whole American empire was built on on being fake. Look at how many actors are successful. Look at how many pretenders are successful. Look at how many people are successful by just being able to yap and by faking authenticity. This was a wave which is now gone. And I'm going to prove to you why it's gone. Because if you look at the election, one candidate had all the celebrity endorsements and the other one was just a real person who went on podcast. Who won? I'm not going to name either of them, but if you're watching this video, you know exactly who I'm talking about. The key takeaway is nobody cares about fake people anymore. That wave has come, it is gone, and it is dead. Why do you think A-list stars don't have podcasts? Because they're not real. They can't talk like this. They can't have a conversation like you and I. So here's what I want you guys to avoid like the plague. You're going to see a lot of fake people online who are going to tell you, get rid of all your family and friends, work 20 hours a day, cut everybody off, and then after you've done months and months and years and you've had no friends and you've slept on the basement floor, and they'll sell you this fake vision of something that doesn't work. Trust me, I've done that. I listened to these idiots when I was early in my career, and I did get rid of a lot of people that I maybe should not have gotten rid of at that point. And I did work stupid hours, and I did do the whole sleep on the floor thing. And guess what? Now I work 10 times harder, more strategically, and I actually end up working less. I get 10 times more done. And the burnout that I suffered as a result of taking the wrong advice from fake people that told me the wrong thing to do ended up putting me in hospital. I had so much back pain from overworking that I was literally in hospital, and it took me 6 months to get out of the hospital. I had to go through physiotherapy. I had to get off painkillers. It nearly killed me. So if you hear a fake influencer tell you to go ghost, cut off your family and friends, work 20 hours a day, and just sleep on the floor, and that's all you got to do for a year, you'll become rich, they're wrong, wrong, wrong. But here's the good news. What are you supposed to do when you go ghost mode, like the superhero in the movie, when you climb up into the mountains, when you train your ass off and you become a weapon and you come back 10 times stronger? What does that look like and how do you do it? More importantly, why do you do it? Why would you go ghost? Here's what I'm going to tell you guys. When you start becoming the best version of you, you will have the least amount of friends. It's the sad reality. When you're the best version of yourself, so many people are going to drop off. And it's not because they don't like you. It's not because you're a bad person. It's because you're elevating and they're going to watch you become a version of yourself, and they're not going to like that because they're going to look at you as if you're a mirror and you're a reflection of what they could never achieve. So people who are still stuck in a job, they're going to laugh at you and they're going to make fun of you for cutting other people off, for working all the time, for being passionate, for being strategic, for hanging around other entrepreneurs, for taking risks, for making content. They're going to laugh at you and they're going to make fun of you. But do you know why? Because you're a reflection of what they could never do. Because when you elevate yourself, you're becoming someone that becomes an item of envy, that becomes a mirror to these people, and they don't like what they see, because when they see you winning and they see you succeeding, it reminds them that they're not doing that. So I want you to remember, when you lock in and when you dial in and when you become the best version of yourself, you will have the least amount of friends, but it is not the worst thing in the world. And here is why. When I went ghost, I didn't cut off all my family and friends. I didn't work 20 hours a day, and I didn't sleep on the floor. I slept in my beautiful, comfortable bed. I simply chose to hang out with the type of people that elevate me, that are on my level, that contribute to my journey. And I worked strategically towards the goal that I wanted to achieve, which was to stack money, be the best version of myself possible, and constantly elevate myself to the point where I wanted to be in terms of fitness, money, in terms of the people that I network with, in terms of the brands that I accumulate, the businesses that I invest with, the tens of thousands of customers that we acquire every single month. I chose to go ghost, but I did it in a way where I only hung out with people that would either elevate, motivate, contribute, or inspire. I didn't just cut everyone off. I just strategically choose who I hang out with now. Furthermore, I am strategic with how I use my time, meaning there's no difference between you, me, Elon Musk, and a homeless person. We've all got 24 hours in a day. So what I chose to do was I just use them strategically. So anyone who gets my time, they know that they're getting something of such value because they know how valuable my time is to me. So when you lock in and when you go ghost mode, you don't have to cut off your family and friends. You just need to surround yourself with better family and friends. I know that sounds bad, but if they don't motivate, if they don't contribute, they don't inspire, and they're not on board for the journey, you can keep them in the back seat. You don't have to get rid of them, but they can't be on your inner circle because they're only going to drag you down, and you don't need that. You don't need, when you're locking in, you're going ghost, you can't have people like that around you. And then also, you don't have to work 20 hours a day, but you have to have a vision of how much money you want to make, what you want to do, how you want to execute it. And then you need to bring in people that are going to support that. And what I mean by that is, if there's work that you could be doing after hours that could be better done by someone else, chop and outsource, chop and outsource, chop and outsource. Build a team that can do the grunt work for you so that you can focus on that strategic part of your vision. And when you're locked in and when you're dialed in, you need to constantly be thinking about that one thing that you cannot get out of your mind. For me, I was going through one of my drawers the other day. It's a really good story. And I had 3 brands at the time, and they were only doing like 10 grand a month. So it wasn't a lot of money. And I pulled out a pen and pad and I literally wrote down exactly what I wanted each brand to do. I wrote 100K, 200K, and 50K. 1 year later, I actually found that. I wasn't looking for it, but I found it in my drawer. Not only had we achieved those targets, but many of the businesses that I wrote them down for, we doubled the targets. So there is something to be said about subconsciously focusing on something so laser sharp that if you can't get it out of your head and if you can't stop thinking about it, it's almost impossible for it not to manifest. Because if you can't stop visualizing, it's gonna start materializing. And if you take nothing else away from this video for your ghost mode journey, I've already taught you the basics. Just get better friends, cut out the people that drag you down. You don't have to work 20 hours a day. Be strategic with what you do. Have people support your vision. Use this as your ghost mode moment. But if you take away nothing else from this video, I want you to remember, if it's all that you can visualize, that's what will materialize. And I'm a perfect example of that. A lot of people who know me personally, we didn't grow up with money. I didn't even grow up with many role models. I grew up with 3 younger siblings. We had barely any money. We lived in a homeless shelter at one point. But even as a little kid, that's all I could think about. I couldn't get it out of my head. I remember I would like walk and I would go for walks, and I'd sometimes like organize ways where I could like go visit the big city, and I'd get into the city, I'd see all these rich buildings and mansions and cars. I'm like, these people have got this somehow. I'm like, why don't I have it? How am I going to get this? How am I going to get that waterfront property? How can I drive in that car? And the crazy thing is, the houses that I used to aspire to, or the apartments, were the ones on the water. I loved being near grass and water. I don't know why, but it made me feel refreshed. So even as a little kid, when we were homeless, all I could think about was that that apartment on the water. And so what happened when I grew up, I now live in that exact house on the water that I would go to as a young boy, and I would visualize like, how the fuck do people get this? And now I'm a grown up and now I have it. And I used to think, how can people get these? Where do people get money for these types of cars? Like, what do they do? And the fake dream that was sold to everyone was get a job. And when it didn't work and I went out on my own, I locked in, I went ghost mode for literally 6 months. And I genuinely believe that that put me 6 years ahead in terms of where I am at today. So the key takeaway that I need you to lock in on this video, if you take nothing else away from it, please listen to me on this. If it's all that you visualize, that's what's going to materialize. If you don't believe me, go ghost for 3 to 6 months, and I promise you, everything that I've just told you in this video will materialize. But you have to do it the right way. Don't listen to the fake people. Just listen to people like you and me who can have a real conversation. So what I mentioned quickly, if you want to learn how I've built any of my brands, I've got a link in the bio for a free training. It's 100% free. I only put it there because I don't want to talk the talk, I want to walk the walk. So if you don't believe me, if you want to actually see behind the scenes in terms of how I've used creators to build my brands, I highly encourage you to click the link. It's a free training, you've got nothing to lose, and it will show you exactly how I do this with mine. But aside from that, I want you to lock in on that fact. I also want you guys to know, I've got a lot more material coming up. We've recalibrated what we do, and we've figured out a way that we can unlock 4 times more content, which is a 400% increase. You guys are going to see it's going to absolutely slap. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. And as I said, stick around because we've got lots more coming up on the way. So I'll see you on the other side.